Through this welcome, I'm glad to see all of you, and I'm really happy that you've come to help us honor our valuable volunteers and people that are so important to our organization. You've noticed the welcome banner back here. It says, welcome athletes, parents, and coaches. I think that probably takes care of just about everybody in the room. So we're really glad to have you, and we're especially glad to have our 8 honorees. This is the 4th induction class. The first one had 3, the second one had 6, I believe, then 3, and now today we're taking in our larger class, 18, which will give us, 8 rather, which will give us 19 total, which is still a pretty exclusive group, but we have a lot of great volunteers in North Carolina. We don't do this every year. We do it from time to time. But it's always fun to see people and get to brag about them just a little bit. I do want to make a couple introductions. I'll recognize Gene Christy, who is has been a long time volunteer. Stand up and wave and act like you know somebody. Officer of the AAU for years. She and her husband ran girls basketball for many years for Lakeville Christy, both of whom were inducted into the Hall of Fame several years ago. I believe it was the second class, maybe the first class. But we're always good to see you, Gene. I'm glad you're here. We have Sean Kilmartin here. Wave. Sean is our governor. Jane is our registrar. And we have Talise Morris with us. She is the secretary. I am the treasurer of the AAU, which means I have to pay the bill when all this thing is over. That's why they let me talk, I think. We'll make sure I do that. I will tell you that the ceremony is being videoed, and Kerry is taking photographs, and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the photographs, but they're going to be made available to you. The video will be put up on YouTube, so you'll be able to go back and download it and show all your friends who didn't come down here today. And we'll also it'll also be on a link on our website, NCAAU.org. If you haven't had a chance to look, give us a week or so to get all that technical stuff done, because he's got to edit this thing. So we have 8 folks being honored tonight, or 8 inductees being honored tonight in alphabetical order. We're going to start off with the Greensboro Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. So if you come forward and be recognized.
It's all the same, dude.
Kim Ambule is going to say a couple words. They voted 2-1 that Kim can't speak. So I will say, first of all, that the Greensboro Area Convention Bureau has been terrific to the North Carolina AAU. Not only with their time and resources, but with money in some cases, and certainly with their influence in negotiating with facilities and helping us to obtain facilities, and they've just been wonderful partners for 10 years or more. Kim Fidel, who cannot speak, is a member of the AAU Congress and attends convention every opportunity. Brian does too, of course, but we don't elect him to Congress for some reason. I don't know. But they've been terrific, and they like AAU stuff in Greensboro, and they give a lot of help. And if you are one of the directors and you're looking for a good partner, these are the guys to call, in my opinion. So, Brian, could you respond?
Thank you. So, I left my office, which is just down the road about a mile away, and I left my notes. And I do a whole lot of public speaking, and then now I found out this is going to be posted on YouTube. So my level of anxiety is like way high now. So anyway, we got Kim Strable. He's the president of the Greensboro Sports Commission. Ava Pope is the director of sales for the Greensboro Convention and Visitors Bureau. And my name is Brian Ambule, and I'm in sports sales for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So, okay. So we just want to say thank you on behalf of the city of Greensboro and Henry Fourier, who's the CBB president and CEO. He's out of town right now, couldn't join us, so we just want to say thank you very much for this honor. Truth be told, it should be AAU being inducted into the Greensboro Hall of Fame. So,
thank you. Well, maybe next year we'll come up here for that. I want to present you with this modest token of our appreciation, and we want to get some pictures. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, come up and I guess I'll horn in on this one.
you want to get
Brian, are you hugging April?
And I'm also holding it.
You notice I stood behind you. Thanks to Kerry Washington for being our photographer tonight, and my son Devin Seaford is our cameraman. Jessica Harris, come forward. Well, I got to tell a story that she just told me. I'd heard this story before, but she reminded me of this story. Jessica has been our gymnastics director for 10 years, going on 11, I guess. Prior to Jessica, we had no gymnastics program. We had gymnastics back in the 80s. It kind of died out. It sputtered and spawned, and we had just a few registrations, which would be kids who decided to go someplace. But we didn't have any activity in North Carolina. And Jessica was very young. She's still young, but she was even younger. And she called our governor at that time, Nelson Hardister. She found the AAU website, I guess, and found his telephone number, called him, and she was teaching gymnastics, and said, why aren't there any AAU gymnastics? Or where is the AAU gymnastics stuff? He said, we don't have any. But we will now because you are the chairman. And she said yes, and she's been with us ever since. And she's taken the program from 0 to over 1,000 registrations. I don't know the exact number this year, and over 30 clubs. And not just one event. She has numerous events throughout the country. She's one of the larger in numbers districts in the country. I don't know exactly where she sits, but pretty high. And so you see our little thing there. She's been our director for 10 years. She was a competitive gymnast herself for a while. Then she taught all the time, starting to have children and being. In fact, you were already the gymnastics director for Lucas Moore, right? Before. So. She's a member of the National Gymnastics Committee, works closely with the national program. They would like for her to do more, actually, and I got an idea that they have ideas for her. She's hosted a lot of events. She hosts very large events. She's going to be hosting an event in a new Rocky Mount facility next year. It'll be the first AAU event in that facility.
But we won't really like it.
She's helping us to try to get some more activity in the eastern part of the state, which has been one of our least active areas, and we really need to do that. And she has the trust and the respect of all the clubs who participate in AAU. I don't think anybody has ever run against you for the position. Have they? Can imagine that.
You have to pay him a lot of money.
No one wants
And with her is Luke, who is in the 4th grade, and Troy, who is in the 1st grade. And her friend Deb, I don't know your last name, Deb.
That's right, Colson.
Deb Colson, and Deb has been working in gymnastics for YMCA, and she helped Jessica kick this thing off and was a means of support for a long time. So with that, I would like to present you with our little plaque. Yes, I do have my arm around Jessica.
I couldn't see. You guys want to say
You want to say something, Luke? Sure. I told Luke he had to give a speech here, and he's agreed to it.
Yeah, all right.
I am Luke. I have loved gymnastics since I have known it. My mom introduced me to it when I was about 7 or so. And I was really happy with the fact that it included moving.
These guys can see more gymnastics than I could probably count. Mr. Hawkins.
Yes, sir.
William Hawkins. William Hawkins comes to us from Henderson, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
He has been an educator for, I don't know how many years, a lot of years. 25 years with the Vance County School.
That's right. Yes, sir.
With the Winston-Salem State University. He was on the football team, and he was on their first wrestling team. Helped introduce that sport. Am I right on all these?
That's right. Yes, sir.
And then he got involved in strength sports, powerlifting, and he himself was a very successful athlete with national championships, world championships, ranked in the top 20 powerlifters in the world. And if you know that how they do things over in the Balkan countries and the former Soviet Union, they had a lot of good people over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he still works for various county schools. He's got with him. Vance County, I'm sorry. What did I say? Cabarrus. Dang, that's a lot different, isn't it? Probably one of the most impressive things that in 1997, over 20 years ago, he established Project Lift. And Project Lift is designed to assist at-risk kids, I suppose, that's what I say, through the disciplines of strength sports. And he's maintained Project Lift for all this time, had a great deal of success. These kids compete in AAU events up and down the East Coast. He was honored by the county commission, and I've got some quotes down there, but basically they said that they cited him for his energy and dedication to the youth of Vance County. And if they can do it, that's the least we can do. Induct you into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, sir.
So we'd like you to accept this token of our appreciation and recognition of what you've done.
Thank you so much, sir.
Would you like? He's come on up for the picture.
Pretty please.
This is the deal, right? So what I hear is William does the powerlifting, but the real power in the family is right over there.
Oh, you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jane, come on up. Jane and Sean Kilmartin are both being inducted tonight, and tell that in the program. But I wanted to do these separately because Jane is very much her own person and has, in her own right, contributed so much to the AAU. I did notice from the program that you're only 13 years old. That's a pretty good performance for 13 years. So, I don't know how I missed that, but I did. Anyway, Jane is from Wales, and she proudly became a U.S. citizen this year after living here for many years. She decided after 30 years that she would stay. Jane serves as our registrar. She's been our registrar since 2010, I believe. Volunteered for much longer than that. She and Sean both began volunteering when their sons were participating in Taekwondo. They both grew really tall and became basketball players and dropped out of Taekwondo. And so she has been involved. She's a host for our tournaments. She's a site director for our national tournaments. as well as being a registrar, and has been steadfast in her support. And basically, if you have a dirty job, you can ask Jane, and she's probably going to say yes. So we appreciate you, and we want to honor you with this little plaque. Thank you.
Well, first of all, Body Da, which means hello and thank you in Welsh. Thank you so much. I'm pleased, honoured and humbled to accept this award, knowing the past recipients that I have to stand alongside, who I admire and respect. A special thank you to North Carolina AAU for selecting me to the Hall of Fame. It's a great honour. I'd like to congratulate the other recipients on such a great award, and they all are very deserving of it. I was introduced to AAU many years ago with Taekwondo with my children, being a parent at that time, and now I'm on the reverse side. Now they're all grown up and working, and I was asked to volunteer by Rod several years ago, and I find myself on the other side running tournaments. I'm not sure which I prefer, but I have great admiration for AAU after volunteering for this many years, and the people that we work with and I've got to meet over the years. I have thoroughly enjoyed my position, and I will continue to do so, so thank you very much.
Yeah. No, we did the whole family.
No.
Sean. My great friend Sean Kilmartin, Governor of North Carolina, National Finance Chair, member of AAU Congress for many years. What else have you done? A bunch of stuff. He has been honored with the President's Leadership Award. He has been honored as the North Carolina Volunteer of the Year. He's been honored by the National Basketball Committee as the Basketball Volunteer of the Year. He is a owner of a financial management firm. One thing about Sean is he's been aggressive and diligent in pursuing new members, new sports. Sean will bring in a basketball club, for example, that hasn't done AAU and entertain them. And they always say yes. They almost always join us. Under his leadership, we've passed 20,000 members in the past year. We've reached that level a couple times previously when Gene was part of the crew, but we had suffered a drop down to the 17,000. Now we're about 20,000 and growing, and we think we'll continue that growth. And part of the reason for that is openness to new sports and a willingness to be aggressive. And Sean is the key player in all that time. He went to Appalachian State University, graduated, went to England to play professional basketball, and later met Jane while he was still in Europe. Jane and Sean have two children. Ryan, stand up and make yourself known. Ryan, also a graduate of Appalachian State, played basketball there, and works for his dad now in that firm. But he also is a rising star in basketball management. He's got a club. He's got how many teams? 15 teams, 14 or 15 teams in his second year. One of the larger clubs, if not the largest club in North Carolina. So he's, if you're in the Kilmartin household, you don't have much choice but to be involved in AAU. Your younger son is in law school, and I guess he's studying tonight. Couldn't come up here. Should be. They hope he's studying. So thank you very much, and thank you for being my good friend.
Absolutely. Thanks. Oh, this is good. This will be brief. Remember the recurring theme here? Everybody said, when Rod asked me, when Rod asked me, when Rod got me, when Rod got me. If you ask 90% of the volunteers in AAU since the 1980s, it started with, Well, I ran into Rod Seaford and that's how it ended up. I'd like to congratulate the other volunteers that are being inducted. In no particular order, obviously my wife, she spent a lot of hours doing this, and I really appreciate your dedication. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work, but it's something that values all of us. Our dear, dear friends at Greensboro, you guys are a model in helping youth sports. You understand the business of youth sports, but more importantly, you get the compassion of youth sports. So many of our conversations were just over a phone call or a project done. We have to negotiate with other CVBs and give them DNA samples of your firstborn male. I call these guys, and the answer is wonderful, how can we get it done? And the reason we call you guys Attorney Town, so thank you guys very much. For our strength sports, I spent a lot of time in the weight room, still do, and I appreciate all that you guys have done. Congratulations on your success, and I'm excited about you guys taking all the success we have in North Carolina and holding some events and getting more youth involved. To the West family, anybody who's been in youth basketball understands the huge amount of influence the Garner Road programs have had for decades. From the battles that we had as coaches against all of your many wonderful coaches, to now you're on your second and darn near your third generation of coaches. One of the most humbling things that I've seen in youth sports was a couple of years ago right over here in the Greensboro Coliseum. Of course, there's always a Garner Road team in it. There's always a Garner Road team somewhere in the finals. And smack in the middle of the tournament, we have your brother, who obviously is pretty busy, highly successful athlete, multiple world championships, humble enough to coach 13-year-olds between the coaching games, signing a contract, changing teams, and always showing respect to the referees. Now, it's easy when you're 6'9" and no fat. Really. That was a wink and a nod.
2 weeks.
But I respect the fact that you would be like that and lead by example. That is absolutely spectacular. Jessica, it's fun seeing you take a program from nothing and make it something, and to see all these kids doing all these crazy high-risk endeavors on the AAU insurance card on behalf of my finance chair. I appreciate that a whole lot. And then, Talise does the most difficult job. She has to keep track of all of the notes, all the paperwork, all the meetings, and we were good at running events in AAU, but not real good at paperwork and follow-up. And it always goes down to, hey, Talise, did I say this? Talise, did I do this? Talise, when did we do this? And for that we're appreciative, and it wouldn't happen without Orrin and your sidekick and all the events that you guys have run also for your club. But this to all of you guys, thank you all very much.
Well, Sean, you pretty much covered it all, I think. I can tell you those are all heartfelt comments. Talise, the lovely and talented Talise Morris, please. I think I've known Talise at least since 2006, maybe before that, quite a while. She's been our secretary since 2006. She was kind of mentored into the positions by Jean Christy, am I right? So I don't know whether she thanks Jean for that or blames her. They are sitting together, so I guess things are going okay. And she and her husband Arnie have been solid volunteers for a long, long time. She's been our girls basketball director. She's been a member of the girls national executive committee. She's been a member of Congress, I guess, for 12 years or more. She started off being a team mom and helping her children's teams, fundraisers, parent coordination, the way many people get started in the AAU. And she's like a lot of us in the AAU. I think she does not know how to say no. So she keeps being asked, will you do this, will you do that, will you do this, will you do that? And we finally asked her to be the secretary, and so she can't say no, and we're really thankful of that. And for a lot of people who are involved in AAU, we don't say no very well, because without yes, we wouldn't be able to do very much at all. She did all this while holding prom positions in GlaxoSmithKline is what it's called now, right? And working full time, and 3 children, am I right?
4.
4.
5 including Arnie.
5 including Arnie. One's a lawyer, one's in college, one's still in high school.
No, I got two in college, one's a lawyer and one's a
I
basketball
don't know.
coach.
Obviously, I don't know anything about her kids, so although she's told me many times. So, in appreciation for all that you've done, and my personal appreciation for all you've done, we have a little plaque for you.
I'm gonna be short and sweet. One thing I can say, when you decide to help out and start volunteering with an organization to help out your kids, it stays with you for 25 plus years. I really have enjoyed AAU. I love what it stands for and the impact that it has on the community and the kids. We've got 4 children, and all 4 play competitive sports. And one thing that Arnie will tell us players, and we have always told our kids, is that, you know, basketball is not just about bouncing the ball and being on the court. It teaches you life lessons that will continue and move forward. As Rod said, I've got 4 children, and I'm very proud of all 4. 3 of them actually play collegiate sports. The other one acts like Arnie, and he decided to go his own route. But I'm very proud of all 4 children who, you know, are carrying those traits into the things that they're doing now. Thank you. And also, I do want to add a special thank you to my mama, Jean, because Jean is one of the reasons why I became the girls' basketball chair and the secretary. And we talked a lot of times over the years in regards to the automated registration process and growing girls' basketball. So thank you, Mama.
I forgot to mention, she also referees. So if anybody wants to be mad at somebody,
Want to take a picture, dear?
come on up, Arnie.
Especially since you posted on the Take pictures, bro.
My mother said you need to smile.
And I have my arm around Rod too.
Well, one thing you may have noticed through a lot of these presentations is how much family is involved. AAU very often becomes a family deal. My son's over here, he's an AAU player from age 8 until he got out of college. He's helped coach it, and a lot of us can tell those stories. Ryan's been involved in AAU since he was a keeper, and all of you have had children participate. You know, we've got Gene and Bill, we've got Sean and Jane. We have a lot of husband-wife teams that help with AAU. So that's a common theme throughout the AAU. And the truth of the matter is, you really can't do what we do as volunteers without at least the indulgence of our family. At least their willingness to, you know, give us our freedom to do what we love to do. That's always very important. And so speaking of family, we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone now. I'll ask Dwayne West to come forward. And his brother, David, is busy as a member of the Golden State Warriors. And they pay him a lot more to do that than I would be able to pay to be here. So Dwayne's going to act on behalf of David as well, all right? And so let's talk about David first, all right? David West, if you could see David West, you would know he's an athlete, 6'9" or so, 6'9", great condition, strong, powerful body. He was an outstanding player in high school in Raleigh. He played AAU basketball, where he was an outstanding player, mostly for Garner Road YMCA, as they called it at that time. It was out of the YMCA. It was Garner Road Bulldogs, but out of the YMCA. Now that I don't coach anymore, I can brag about Garner Road a lot more. A lot more than I used to, because we had many, many great battles over the years. It was great rivalry and great friendships that came out of it. But David has played on a number of NBA teams. He's played in over 1,000 games. He's played, I believe this is his 15th year, is that right? I believe it's his 15th year. He has been in college at Xavier University in Cincinnati. He was an All-American Player of the Year, League Defensive Player of the Year, scored over 2,000 points, got over 1,000 rebounds, just has been a great, great basketball player. And not only has he been a good player, but he's been a great representative of his family and the North Carolina AAU with his, so far as his character and his he did get in a tiff with one player a couple of years ago, and that guy should have known better than as I recall. But he's quite a competitor, still has that competitive spirit. Won his first world championship 2 years ago, and I'm very proud to induct David West into our Hall of Fame.
Yes. Mom and Dad take the picture.
Sure. Can Mr. and Ms. West come and have a picture?
Mine or yours?
They'll have it.
She said mom and parents.
You got instructed by Amos, you got
Okay. So Dwayne says that David got his strength from you and his attitude from
That would be correct. My point, please.
So just how many times did Harriet have to tell David and Dwayne, quit bouncing that ball in the house or go outside?
No.
Just like that. You can stand right here, we'll get a picture taken. I'll let you hold on to the flag, okay? Let me say before we make the last presentation that we will hang around for a little bit afterwards. If you want more pictures, if your family wants to take more pictures, feel free. I'm sure the inductees will hang around for a little while as well. If you want this program emailed to you, see Devin over on the camera, and he's got it on his phone. He can send it right out to you. So last but far from least, only last because you start with a W.
Right.
You got that part of the school as well.
Right. I know it's that Charlotte Royals thing.
Dwayne and I have been friends for a long time, and great competitors. The Garner Road Bulldogs have become a powerhouse club. They significantly have won super regionals. Daddy's saying they've won super regionals. They've won state championships. They have a lot of teams. I believe in the last couple of years they've had more teams than any other club. Maybe somebody beat you one year. Ryan's trying to beat you this year. He's going to go by you. But has contributed so much to us. Dwayne, as I said, they operated in conjunction with the YMCA at one point, but the Garner Road YMCA closed. Dwayne and his brother were able to acquire that facility, and they've continued to operate that facility for the benefit of their community. They have more than basketball. There's a lot more there than just basketball. They're making many programs available to the children and even the adults, I think, in the Raleigh area. Over 200 of their athletes have earned college scholarships. That's a big number. I'm going to be the first to tell you they're not just about basketball. They're about training young people to play the game right and to act right in life. So Dwayne, those words out. Get a picture.
Want to get a picture?
I love taking pictures of Dwayne, make him look so slim. Look at this little girl.
That's Zoe.
Hi, Zoe.
Zoe?
Say hi, Zoe. So, I'm going to do something a little different because I don't know if he saved the best for last or the craziest for last, but I'd like for Teresa to come up. Teresa's my wife, by the way. So we always do this stuff, and we have a lot of things that we go to, and we wasn't almost married because of AAU. So now that I'm going into the Hall of Fame, I want her to understand what we do. And Jane, now I don't feel so bad pulling out my paper. I was sitting up there going, man, I don't have to read this off the top of my head until you came. But I wanted to I just wanted to say a couple of things. And I actually had a point. And the first thing I want to do is I want to thank Hank Maddox, who is the founder back in 1990. I spoke at his retirement, and what I said is, all he had was a simple plan, and that simple plan was to get about 11 kids, put them in some t-shirts, put some numbers on the back and play, and 28 years later, we're actually 300 plus scholarships. This is our 28th year of doing it, and so I really want to thank Hank for the opportunity to continue his dream. I also want to thank Byron, who passed away in June, so I'm not going to get emotional about that, but he was like I say he was my right and left hand man. So I wanted to thank him, even though he's not here. He's with us looking down. So the idea that I had was that I wanted to just kind of say to you guys that at one point in time, I also had NBA aspirations, and I had prayed to God about being in the NBA. And I said, I'm going to work hard, and God, if you do your part and make me 6'9½", then I can make it into the league. And I think he misunderstood my prayers because he gave it to David, and not to me. But you know, that was my original prayer. And with that being said, when you ask, I believe God becomes your partner. Once you ask him, he's your partner. And I just thank God for the opportunity and the ability and the mindset to do the things that we do. It's hard, sometimes it's very thankless. To all those folks that's in here that are AAU folks that have worked and volunteered, coaches, volunteers, you know, there's some crazy parents, unappreciative parents, and there's some nasty folks out there that all they care about is their world and nobody else can be in it. But it's so exhilarating, and it feels so good that when you do have those folks that say just two simple words, and that's thank you. And I really appreciate Rod Seaford for looking at not just David and I, but also Hank Maddox and Byron, because this award is not just me, but it's all those people that worked. And I want to appreciate and I thank everybody that's at that table. I'm gonna say my pastor first, because I'm gonna put him out there, because he made me sing on Sunday. With no practice, no nothing. So I got up there and sang a solo, messed up the whole church. My mom and dad, obviously, my aunt, sister, my brother, Daniel, and then my two kids. One is 24, that's Trevor. I told you age. And then I have Zoe, who's 2. So the one thing you can't call me is a planner, but you can. I took the 46-year plan, child raising plan. And then one of the people that I want to thank as well is Sonia. She's been our administrator for how many years? 13 years. And she's the only one other than the lady standing to the next to me that can pump me. I think I'm old enough that my parents don't scare me anymore. But you know, the last thing that I'll say is I just think that this is affirmation from God that I'm fulfilling my promise that I made to him. So on behalf of the West family, on behalf of Garner Road, In Rock, my church, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much, and God bless you.
Dwayne, your pastor offered to have you sing tonight, but I told you full program.
I want y'all two get together.
You know, I think this has been a lot of fun for me, and I hope for you. We could really have a whole ceremony for each one of these folks, because I just scratched the surface of all the good things that these people have accomplished and you know, brought forward. So I'll just conclude by saying thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you've done for all these years. Thank you very much.
can go get some more dessert if you want to.
Get some more lots of food, 'cause we can't take it with us. Eat, fill your pockets up, something.
I'm famous for trying to cut it off.
I feel like an honorary Kilmartin. You're all about that, so what's wrong?
Everybody hug everybody.
See, Teresa used to take tall pictures. Oh, that's a great picture.
I appreciate you speaking to me.
They're taking pictures, Sean.
It's his fault.
I know. Every time I meet you,